Hey guys, so in this video we are going to talk about continuous probability distributions. In our previous video, discrete yung pinag-usapan natin. Ngayon naman, continuous. Now, a discrete random variable is one whose possible values either constitute a finite set or else can be listed in an infinite sequence. So it is a list in which there is a first element, second element, third element, and so on. For example, dito sa number line natin, itong mga whole numbers na to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these are the values that can be taken up by a discrete random variable. On the other hand, a random variable whose set of possible values is an entire interval of numbers is not discrete. So, continuous naman siya. Again, when we are talking about an interval, so for example dito, from 1 to 3, so yung value ng random variable natin can be any number between 1 and 3. Ibig sabihin, that is a continuous random variable kasi yung value niya is between an interval. Again, yung pag-uusapan natin sa video na to is continuous random variable. Let's say yung random variable natin can take up any value between 1 and 2. Now, between 1 and 2, there are infinite number of points. So, napakarami niyan, okay? So, hindi natin pwedeng malista lahat ng mga values between 1 and 2. So, ngayon naman, tayo nyo isipin to. Sa tingin nyo, ano yung probability that our random variable x will have the value of 1.5? Again, take note, yung random variable x natin dito is a continuous random variable whose possible values are all numbers between 1 and 2. Again, there are infinite number of points between 1 and 2. So, yung probability na 0.5 yung magiging value niya is actually equal to 0. Okay, so actually, a continuous random variable has a probability of 0 of assuming exactly any of its value. So, yung probability na yung random variable x natin will be equal to any exact value is actually equal to 0. Now, this fact is perhaps counterintuitive since it would seem to imply a total probability of 0 for all possible values. So, ibig sabihin, pag i-add natin lahat ng mga probabilities, since each probability natin dito is 0, so yung total, is it 0 ba? So, actually, hindi, no? You will see later that intervals of values have positive probability. So, actually, positive yung probability niya and not equal to 0. Again, the probability of an interval will decrease to 0 as the width of the interval shrinks to 0. Habang lumiliit yung interval natin, yung corresponding probability niya is approaching 0 din. Okay? So, let us consider a particular example. So, let us discuss a random variable whose values are the height of people. So, okay, sabihin natin between 163.5 centimeters to 164.5 centimeters. There are infinite number of heights, no, between 163.5 to 164.5. So, yung height niya pwedeng maging 163.51 or 164.2 or 163.69825. Okay, so napakarami. Now, one of those heights is exactly 164 centimeters. Now, the probability of selecting a person at random who is exactly 164 centimeters tall and not one of the infinitely large set of heights so close to 164 but not equal to 164, no? Close lang siya. So, yung probability na yung mapili natin na tao is 164 talaga, exactly yung height niya. Okay, so walang labis, walang kulang. So, that is very, very small, yung probability. Therefore, we assign a probability to this event equal to 0. Again, yung probability natin is simply desired over the total number of outcomes. So, yung desired natin is exactly 164 and yung total number of outcomes between 163.5 to 164.5 is napakarami, so infinite. Habang lumalaki yung denominator natin dito as it approaches infinity, yung probability natin dito will be approaching 0. So, magiging 0 siya. However, this is not the case if we talk about the probability of selecting a person whose height is between 163 and 164. Now, we are dealing with an interval rather than a single point, no? Rather than a point value of our continuous random variable. So in this topic, we will be concerned with computing probabilities for various intervals of continuous random variables, such as the probability of x greater than a but less than b, or the probability of our continuous random variable having the value greater than or equal to c, or the probability that our continuous random variable x less than d. So interval yung pag-uusapan natin dito, basta continuous. So this is the difference between discrete and continuous random variables. So again, yung discrete, we can define the probability of exact values. Pagdating naman sa continuous, we can only define the probability of intervals. Okay? So eto, next no, take note of this idea pagdating sa continuous random variables. So probability ng continuous random variables. If we are concerned with the probability of x having the value greater than a and less than or equal to b, this will simply be equal to the probability that x is greater than a but less than b plus the probability that x is equal to b. Okay? So nasundan? So recall nyo na pagdating sa continuous random variables, yung probability that our continuous random variable will be equal to an exact value. So ito, probability of x equal to b. So itong probability na to, recall that this is equal to 0. Ibig sabihin, it does not matter whether the endpoint of the interval is included or not. So kahit i-include pa natin yung a dito sa first probability natin. So probability that our x is greater than or equal to a and less than or equal to b. So madadagdagan lang to dito ng probability that our x will be equal to a. Again, since our random variable here is continuous, the probability of it taking an exact value is equal to 0. Okay, so ito, equal pa rin siya. Again, it does not matter whether we include or exclude the endpoints of our intervals. So, same pa rin yung probability natin. Okay? But always remember that this is only true for continuous random variables only. So, you cannot apply this pagdating sa discrete random variables. So, next, we are going to talk about probability density function of continuous random variables. So, parang same siya doon sa probability distribution function for discrete random variables. Okay? So, density naman yung tawag kapag continuous. Now, unlike doon sa probability distribution function natin for discrete random variables, the probability distribution of a continuous random variable cannot be presented in tabular form. So, hindi natin siya pwedeng ilagay sa isang table. It can only be stated as a formula represented by the functional notation f of x. So, ito, f of x, that is the probability density function or simply density function. Now, most density functions that have practical applications in the analysis of statistical data are continuous, and their graphs may take any of several forms. So, some of which are shown here. As you can see here, yung mga graph natin is continuous or walang putol, no? However, it is also possible for our density function to have finite number of discontinuities. But most of the time, continuous yung graph niya. Yung horizontal axis natin dito, these are the values of x. And then yung vertical axis naman will be the corresponding values of the density function f of x. Now, the area below the curve represents the probabilities of the random variable. So, tatandaan nyo yan ha. Yung area below the curve, ito yung probabilities natin. For example, ito yung graph ng density function natin. If we are concerned with the probability that our continuous random variable x will have the values between a and b, so itong area na to, ito yung magiging probability niya. So, we just need to solve for the area here in order to get the probability. Area under the curve. So, hopefully, alam niyo pa kung paano to kunin, ano? To get the area or to get the probability, we are going to apply integral calculus. So, we are going to integrate our function. So, that is f of x with respect to x dx from a to b. Okay? So, ito na yung area between the curve, yung shaded area, which is, again, also equal to the probability that our x will be between a and b. since this integral gives the probability, okay, so ibig sabihin probability, again recall nyo probability, yung value niya that should only be greater than or equal to 0. So walang negative na probability. Ibig sabihin, yung f of x natin dito for all possible values of x should be greater than or equal to 0. Walang negative na probability. So ibig sabihin, yung graph ng f of x natin dito will only be above the x-axis. And then, since this is a probability, recall nyo, yung total probability should be equal to 1, diba? So ito din, in this case, if we evaluate our function f of x from all values, no? So from negative infinity up to positive infinity, yung total nito, that should be equal to 1. So again, a probability density function is constructed so that the area under its curve bounded by the x-axis is equal to 1 when computed over the range of x for which f of x is defined. Okay, so itong tatlong to, ito yung tatandaan nyo pagdating sa probability density function. So let's take a look at our first example here. Suppose that the error in the reaction temperature in degrees Celsius for a controlled laboratory experiment is a continuous random variable x having the probability density function f of x is equal to x squared over 3 for values of x between negative 1 and 2, and then yung value ng f of x natin is 0 elsewhere. So ibig sabihin yung f of x natin is only defined for the values of x between negative 1 and 2. For other values of x, yung density function natin will be equal to 0. Now the question, verify that f of x is a density function and find the probability that x is greater than 0 but less than or equal to 1. So we are going to check if this is truly a density function based doon sa definition and mga properties ng density function na na-discuss natin earlier. Okay, so first, yung f of x natin should only be greater than or equal to 0. So f of x equal to x squared over 3. Now take note that if we substitute any values of x here from the given interval, kahit negative 1 yung ilagay natin dito, since naka-square to, magiging positive pa rin siya. Or 0 yung ilagay natin, so 0 squared over 3, that is 0, equal to 0. Or positive number, no, let's say 1 squared over 3, that is still greater than 0. Okay, ibig sabihin, yung f of x natin is always greater than or equal to 0. So check itong definition na to. Next, if we evaluate our function, okay, so for all values of x defined, so dapat equal to 1 siya, no? Yung total probabilities kumbaga should be equal to 1. So if we integrate our function x squared over 3 dx, our limits here will be based doon sa binigay na interval for which this function is defined. So that is from negative 1 to 2. Kasi again, recall for other values of x, yung f of x natin is simply equal to 0. So we are only going to integrate from negative 1 to 2. So if you evaluate this integral, this will indeed be equal to 1. So pasok ulit doon sa definition na yon. Therefore, this function is indeed a density function. Next naman, we are going to evaluate the probability that our x will have a value between 0 and 1. Again, recall that it does not matter whether we include or exclude the endpoints of our interval here. So, same pa rin yung probability natin. Again, for continuous random variables lang yon. So again, yung probability that our x will have a value between a and b will simply be equal to the area under the curve, no? So that is the integral of our function f of x dx from a to b. Galing doon sa problem, yung lower limit natin dito will be 0, and then yung upper limit naman will be equal to 1. Again, no, so it does not matter whether we include or exclude the endpoints. So sige, lagyan na lang natin dito, less than or equal to 1. So same din dito sa integral natin, we will evaluate our function from 0 to 1. So that is the integral of x squared over 3 dx from 0 to 1. And this will be equal to 1 over 9. Therefore, yung probability that our random variable x, continuous random variable x, will have a value between 0 and 1 is equal to 1 over 9. Okay, so ganun lang ano. If you are going to solve for the probability using the probability density functions, napakadali lang. We will simply integrate. Next, we are going to talk about cumulative distribution function. So similar with discrete random variables, continuous random variables also have a cumulative distribution function. Recall that when we say f of x, or the cumulative distribution function f of x, this will be equal to the probability that our random variable x will have the value less than or equal to x. Okay, so this cumulative distribution function of a continuous random variable x with density function f of x is equal to the integral of f of t dt from negative infinity to x. Okay, so for all values of x, so from negative infinity to positive infinity. Again, we define the cumulative distribution function for all real values of x, not only those that are given in the interval. So same doon sa discrete, no? Okay, so let's take a look at our next example here para mas maintindihan natin lalo. So from the density function in the previous example, find the cumulative distribution function f of x and then use it to evaluate the probability that x will be between 0 and 1. So yung density function natin dito will be from the previous example. Again, we are going to define our cumulative distribution function for all real values of x. So unahin muna natin yung values of x that are given in our interval. For x between negative 1 and 2, yung cumulative distribution function natin dito will be equal to, again, f of t dt from negative infinity to x. So this is the probability that our random variable x will be less than or equal to x. For this interval, yung lower limit natin will be negative 1. So from negative 1 to x. So evaluating this, we are going to have x cubed plus 1 over 9. Okay, so this is the cumulative distribution function for values of x from negative 1 to positive 2. Paano naman if yung value ng x natin is less than negative 1? So again, recall na yung function natin is only defined from negative 1 to 2. So yung probability that x will be less than negative 1 is equal to 0. Okay? And then between negative 1 and 2, yung cumulative distribution function natin will be equal to x cubed plus 1 over 9. Paano naman if yung x natin is greater than or equal to 2? So for values of x that are greater than or equal to 2, yung cumulative distribution function natin will be equal to 1. Kasi recall na yung total probabilities, so yung sum ng lahat ng probabilities is equal to 1. Ganito yung magiging itsura ng cumulative distribution function natin. Ito yung graph niya. Again, for values that are less than negative 1, so 0 yung f of x natin. And then for values of x that are greater than or equal to 2, our cumulative distribution function has the value of 1. Ngayon, paano naman natin ito magagamit in order to solve for the probability that our x will have a value between 0 and 1? Okay, so ito yung gagawin natin. First, we are going to take the cumulative distribution function f of 1. So itong cumulative distribution function f of 1 na to is equal to the sum of the probabilities for all values of x that are less than or equal to 1. So ito, okay. Ngayon, ibabawas natin dito yung cumulative distribution f of 0, which is the probability or the total probability for values of x that are less than or equal to 0. So isa-subtract natin to. Ibig sabihin yung matitira na lang dito will be the probability of x having the values between 0 and 1. So ito, okay? F of 1, so yung x natin dito is equal to 1. We are going to use yung cumulative distribution function x cubed plus 1 over 9. Okay, so that will be 2 over 9 and then minus f of 0. So again, between negative 1 and 2 pa rin siya, no? So we still are going to use the cumulative distribution function x cubed plus 1 over 9. So ilalagay natin dito 0. That will be equal to 1 over 9. Solving for the difference, this will simply be equal to 1 over 9, which is similar o same doon sa nakuha nating sagot earlier. Okay, so kahit yung cumulative distribution function or yung density function yung gagamitin nyo sa pagkuha ng probability, same lang yung makukuha nyong sagot. Let's go to our next example. A continuous random variable x that can assume values between x equal to 1 and x equal to 3 has a density function given by f of x equal to 1/2. Now find the cumulative distribution function f of x and then use it to evaluate the probability that x will have the value between 2 and 2.5. First, isosolve muna natin yung cumulative distribution function. So for values of x between 1 and 3, so this will be equal to 1/2 dt. I-integrate natin to from 1 to x. Again, bakit ganito yung limits natin? So yung lower limit natin is always doon sa lower interval, which in this case is equal to 1. Yung upper limit naman natin dito, ilalagay lang natin x kasi it can take any value from 1 to 3. So pwedeng 2, pwedeng 2.5, pwedeng 2.75. So any value that is less than 3. So if we evaluate this, we are going to have x minus 1 over 2. So again, ito yung cumulative distribution function natin for values of x between 1 and 3. 0 yung value ng cumulative distribution function natin for values that are less than 1. Kasi again, yung function natin, magkakaroon lang siya ng value between x equal to 1 and x equal to 3. Anything below 1, 0 yung magiging value niya. So yung cumulative distribution function or yung sum ng mga probabilities for all values of x that are less than 1 will be equal to 0. Ngayon naman, yung sum ng lahat ng mga probabilities for x between 1 and 3, so it is given by the cumulative distribution function x minus 1 over 2. And then, yung sum naman ng lahat ng probabilities for values of x that are greater than or equal to 3, so that is equal to 1. Okay? So 1 lang yung maximum value ng cumulative distribution function natin kasi 1 lang naman yung total sum ng lahat ng mga probabilities. Now, in order to solve for the probability that our x will have the value between 2 and 2.5, same lang yung gagawin natin as in our previous example. First, we are going to take the upper interval, so that is the cumulative distribution function f of 2.5. So this is the sum of all the probabilities that x will have a value from negative infinity up to 2.5. So ibabawas natin dito yung cumulative distribution function f of 2. So yung lower interval naman natin, which is equal to the sum of all the probabilities that x will have a value from negative infinity to 2. Okay, so yung may iwan na lang dito will be from 2 to 2.5. Using the cumulative distribution function x minus 1 over 2. Okay, kasi yung 2.5 and 2 between 1 and 3 naman siya. So this will be 3/4 minus 1/2, which is equal to 1 over 4. Therefore, yung probability that our continuous random variable x will have a value between 2 and 2.5 is equal to 1 over 4. Okay, so again, basta pagdating sa continuous random variable, we can only define the probabilities of intervals. Habang lumiliit yung interval natin, yung probability niya is lumiliit lang din. Kaya yung probability that a continuous random variable will take an exact value, so that will be equal to 0. Again, based on our explanation earlier in this video. Okay, so that's it for this video guys. Hopefully meron kayo natutunang bago. So see you on the next one.